So, baby Lexi, adorable, but was about two things very early on: creativity, arts and crafts, and business. So those crafts weren't free. I bring them home to my mom, and she would go, "Oh, great! Is this for me?" And I say, "Yes, for the low price of $19.99." "Oh, Alex, I don't have any money." "That's okay. I have a line of credit, so I'll just be back." And it should have been obvious that I belonged in film because as a little kid, I wake up early on the weekends to watch Siskel and Ebert. That was one of my favorite shows. I don't know why, because I was like 7 years old. My mom didn't know why either. But I was so immersed in like the film criticism. It was one of my favorite things to watch all the time. Another one of my favorites that my mom didn't like quite as much was music videos. Missy Elliott, again, the boss. Busta Rhymes, Foo Fighters, Red Hot Chili Peppers. They had some of the best content out there ever. And it really was enchanting. It took me to all these worlds I couldn't imagine and could never forget. And they really stuck with me for the rest of my life. Obviously, iconic. One of my earliest memories was this video, the world premiere, because I remember my whole family stopped, 3 generations crowded around the TV, and it made me think about art as history and a legacy, and not just entertainment, but how it's what we leave behind. And then Lord of the Rings, I love it so much. Never really read the books, couldn't get into all that. But the special edition DVD I begged for and got it, and there's so much content. That was my first time seeing behind the scenes on such a massive production. There's probably like 100 hours between all the commentary and everything, and that really stuck with me. So went to Wisconsin, didn't think I could really have like an adulting life doing creative stuff, so I went to Wisconsin for the business stuff. It didn't stick. I tried to integrate those things in journalism. I was told, "We don't know how you'll make money." So I said, "Well, if you don't know how to make money, then I'll try this film thing, I guess." I didn't really think I could do it. I was a junior in my third, major, but then Ava happened at Sundance with Middle of Nowhere for the first time. I was like, okay, someone like me is really doing this, like for real. Maybe I can make it happen. And so I jumped into production classes. Every production class I could get. It was a great school for business, a great school for academic film stuff, not the best school for production stuff, so I just stretched out my time to take as many production classes as possible. So this is a set that we built. This is my first scene that I directed. So we built this set on a studio in our school, and so that's me behind the camera and in the editing suite putting it together, and it was the hardest thing I'd ever done to that point. My scene was like a 20-hour day. The first one was like 8 hours, but it was so hard and it was so rewarding. And I was like, okay, this is crazy long, crazy difficult, but I love it so much. This must be where I belong because I would not want to do it any other way. This is me and my mom. She's supported me through everything, even the crazy I want to be a filmmaker thing. And she encouraged me to go to ABFF, the American Black Film Festival. I didn't really know too much about film festivals other than Ava at Sundance, but we went, and I'm so glad that she encouraged me to go because you see the Dasley pimp cane, but that was a necessary walking aid. I wanted to go so bad that even though I was on crutches like 6 weeks before the festival, I was still determined to go. So I just got a pimp cane for the formal events and went down there on crutches. And it was great, and I was excited to graduate, and I thought, okay, well, I should be able to do something for real now, and it didn't really happen. The festival was incredible, and I was really impressed with everything, but it didn't really advance me the way I thought it was going to, outside of just seeing all these great celebrities and everything. So the millennial dream came true. I got a gig immediately after graduation on a web series, so I learned how real productions are supposed to work. And how they're kind of not supposed to work. Ironically, they had a Got Ethics tag, but they also had some strangely unethical things going on. So it was encouraging to get that opportunity, but discouraging. And I thought, we'll be better in Chicago. And then we have this picture where Wisconsin once had a black guy photoshopped into a crowd scene. So he wasn't really there. They just dropped him in, and that's kind of how it felt in Wisconsin a lot of the time. And then when I tried to tap into the film community here, that's also how I felt here. So, boring job, boring. Almost died, another freak accident, went from a sprained knee and sprained ankle to 2 bruised lungs. Still went to a film festival shortly after that, on crutches again. And this is 8 months later, climbing Swallow Cliff. So I realized I almost died without getting my films out into the world, and I couldn't just let that slide because I needed a stupid, boring job. I ran across this Southside Film Festival thing, and I was like, oh, that's cool. We have one of those. Let me check that out. Met this phenomenal woman named Michelle Kennedy, who I found out was just starting it. And I asked how I could get involved. I said, oh, you just started. No, you need help, after seeing how the big ones do it. And I just decided to throw myself into filmmaking again. So I signed up for a class with Shahari Moore. All of you probably know her, and if you don't, you should. She's amazing. She's a great writer and director, and I learned so much from her. And she really encouraged me to keep going and to just have confidence in my gifts. And so now we get to my shameless plug for the Chicago Southside Film Festival, which you all will get complimentary flyers and invites to. So this is coming up this fall, and I took all my experiences outside of the accessibility from being on crutches to make my own festival, not my own, Michelle's own, our own. To think about what did I wish I had when I moved back, when I was just starting out. What do I wish I had if I didn't have a chance to go to school and study filmmaking? And a big part of that is Cinema Social, to build that community that I always wanted. So it's my last slide. This is me out and about in the awesome t-shirt that my mom is wearing right now, inviting people across all these film communities, because I've been all over the city, the north side, the west side, Hyde Park, the far, far, far south side where I'm from, to just get to connect with people. I feel like that community is so important. And that's what I really want to build, because as much as I love coming up here to spaces like this and spending, a decent amount of carbon emissions looking for parking, it would be so dope to also be able to have more things like this on the South Side. So I know I'm past my last slide, but thank you so much.